Hi there, I'm Lucman of Code Working Channel, and welcome to my video series about 2021 software development emerging technologies. Hi there, I'm Lucman. In this video, pag-usapan natin some of the emerging technologies na ginagamit sa industry right now based from surveys and trends. So one of it is ang cloud computing. So alam natin ang cloud computing is one of the key factors ng success ng business, especially sa pandemic situation natin ngayon. At para mapabilis ang software development, meron nandito ang containerization technology. And for the containerization to become a success, kailangan din ang modern architecture. So pag-usapan natin some of the modern architectures, mga patterns and principles na ginagamit. Okay, so in the relation to modern architectures, pag-usapan natin ang mga web services. Okay, and mga programming languages din na ginagamit sa industry right now based from survey. Ano yung mga kadalasan ginagamit sa industry? At in relation to information system development, ano kaya yung mga databases na ginagamit nila? So, pag-usapan natin yun. At gusto ko rin idagdag ang one of the important technologies na ginagamit sa industry right now, which is ang PWA or Progressive Web Application. So yun, pag-usapan natin yan. So stay lang kayo dyan. I hope marami kayong matutunan. Umpisahan natin sa topic ng cloud computing. Alam natin na ang cloud computing is one of the key factors ng industry right now. Sa kahit anong mga businesses, sa education, sa retail, and so on. So, because of the pandemic situation, nagkaroon ng limitations sa mga operations natin sa kahit anong trabaho natin. But because of cloud computing naging success yun, especially sa mga meetings, sa mga sharing of files and so on. So, in cloud computing, when you say cloud computing, it does not mean na magsisave ka lang ng information mo sa cloud. So, merong tatlong klase ang storage when it comes to cloud computing. So, meron tinatawag na private cloud that allows you to save your information sa on-premise mo. So, parang ikaw lang yung may access nun. Kaya tinatawag siyang private cloud. So, but kapag gagamit ka ng private cloud, usually meron ka public cloud din. So, yung public cloud is sinustore mo siya doon sa internet. Sinisave mo doon yung mga information mo. So, yun yung sinasabi natin na yung alam natin na sinasave siya sa cloud. But most of the case is yung mga cloud platforms is nagsusupport sila ng hybrid. Ibig sabihin, mayroong private cloud, mayroong ding public cloud at the same time. So, that allows you to work even offline kahit walang internet. So, yun. So, hindi ibig sabihin na pag sinabi mo cloud computing is dependent ka na sa internet. So, when you say cloud computing, meron niya mga technologies na ginagamit para maging hybrid siya na pwede online, pwede ring offline. Yun siya. So, sa mga cloud platforms, nagbibigay sila ng tatlong klaseng platform. So, these are one of the mga tatlo lang sa mga kind of services na ginagamit. No? So, meron pang iba pero ito lang i-identify natin. So, first is yung infrastructure as a service. So, infrastructure as a service is yung mga cloud platforms is bibigyan kanila even including yung software and hardware. So, isa-set up nila sa yung setup mo. And ang maganda doon is it follows the parang standard na setup sa cloud computing. So, another form of service is platform as a service. So, if your organization capable of doing software development, you can use such platform na nagbibigay ng capability to use their service na para makasave ka ng private cloud or public cloud and so on. So, rather than starting from scratch. If magsa-start ka from scratch, mahihirapan ka. Pero merong mga available mga services such as, for example, sa Google, nagbibigay sila ng mga services na ganun. Hindi kaya sa Microsoft, mayroong Microsoft Azure and so, no? Meron ding AWS ng Amazon. So, maraming available services na bibigay ng platform as a service. So, meron din tinatawag na software as a service. So, yung software as a service is kapag yung isang computing company or software company is na gumawa sila ng software na pwede mo na gamitin anytime na available na siya. For example, yung gawa ng Microsoft, yung Microsoft Office na pwede mo na siya gamitin online. So pwede ka gumamit ng Google Drive and so on, YouTube and so on. So that is software as a service. Based from the surveys of Stack Overflow, this 2021, the mostly commonly used cloud platforms are as follows. So, nangunguna ang AWS or Amazon Web Service. Nagpo-provide sila ng services like, for example, web hosting and so on. No? So, pwede ka rin mag-store sa kanila ng mga, meron din silang mga databases and so on. So, meron silang mga NoSQL databases na pwede mo gamitin. So, to be followed by Google Cloud Platforms. Alam natin, marami din silang mga services na binibigay sa public. No? So, like for example, ang YouTube, Google Drive, and so on. So, marami pa. Then, siyempre ang Microsoft, no? So, one of the biggest company in the industry. So, for example, ang Microsoft Word, OneDrive, mga Office 365, that is possible through Microsoft Azure. And there are other cloud platforms that are available na pwede gamitin for software development. Meron dyan ang Heroku, DigitalOcean, IBM Cloud or Watson, Oracle Cloud Infrastructures. And so ang point lang dito is ang cloud computing is on trend. So big companies such as Microsoft, Google, and Amazon are investing on cloud computing. So this is one of the important emerging technologies in 2021. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, ang progressive web application. So, progressive web application or PWA is one of the important technologies or emerging technologies in 2021. Masasabi ko yun kasi malaking factor niya sa mga success, especially sa pandemic situation. No? So, one of the features ng isang PWA is internet independent. Yun yung pinaka-important sa akin. Based on my experience, no, especially dito sa location natin sa Philippines. So, important ang paggagawa ka ng isang application is connectivity independent siya. So, kahit wala kang internet, you can still continue to operate. So, another feature ng isang PWA is responsive siya. Ibig sabihin, nagsusupport siya ng different devices such as desktop, laptop, mobile devices, tablet, and so on. No? So, maganda siya kasi with the single source code is pwede ka makadeploy ng isang application. And it's normal for a PWA app na maging installable siya. So, installable siya na once ma-access mo siya, you can install it. But siyempre, if installable siya, you can also expose it sa mga App Store or sa Play Store. No? So, para maging install pa, pwede siya ma-search doon. But kahit hindi mo siya ilagay sa App Store, maging discoverable para siya sa mga famous search engines na pwede mo gawin. So, maraming advantages pag gumagamit ka ng PWA. At saka, hindi naman talaga mahirap gamitin ang isang PWA or maybe gumawa ng isang PWA application kasi may mga technology. So, in the upcoming videos, mapapag-usapan natin yun. So, subscribe lang kayo. In the future, mapapag-usapan natin yan in the future. Okay, in relation to PWA, it's very important gumamit tayo ng mga tools in order to develop PWA applications. And that is possible through the web framework. So, based from the survey of Stack Overflow sa 2021, here are some of the mostly commonly used web frameworks. So, nandito ang React.js, jQuery. jQuery is one of the early web frameworks available. Up until now, is still being used. So, sa server side, meron din yun sa Express. So, one of the mostly commonly used na web frameworks sa server side using Node.js is ang Express. Meron din yung Angular, the new Angular, yung bagong version ng Angular. So, that's one of the top. So, then Vue.js. But for me, in my own experience, Ang one of the experience ko din is ito si Angular, si jQuery, si Vue.js, and si React.js. So, I've experienced them. Mayroon silang mga advantages and disadvantages. But as of now, ang ginagamit ko is ang Vue.js for performance reason lang. But, siyempre, hindi ko naman sinasabi na when you use the other frameworks such as Angular or React, hindi maganda yung performance nila. Nagkataon lang na in the type of domain na ginagamit ko is mas fit ang Vue.js sa akin. So, but for other domain application na ginagawa is pwede rin gamitin ang Angular at saka React.js. Yun. So with this, madali lang makadevelop ng PWA app. So madali lang. So may mga platforms din na ginagamit or mga tools na ginagamit together with these web frameworks para madali makadevelop ng isang PWA. So ang PWA is possible with the use of these technologies. Pero if gagawa ka from scratch, may hirapan ka. So you really have to use these emerging technologies, itong mga frameworks na to. Okay, ngayon naman pag-usapan natin ang emerging technologies related to software architecture. So ano ba yung mga modern software architecture na ginagamit ngayon? So traditionally ang ginagamit natin sa software development isang monolithic approach. So in the future pwede natin mapag-usapan yan. I have a video series about software architecture na pwede ko ilagay sa link below. So ngayon we are transitioning from monolithic to microservices. So microservices kasi hinahati-hati niya yung application mo from a very big implementation to microservices. So para that way is pwede ka rin makafocus sa software development mo tapos ma-increase mo yung quality ng application mo. So to do that, mayroong mga development approach na ginagamit. For example, ang API first approach. So before you develop such application, you have to somehow figure out kung ano yung magiging itsura ng API mo in customer perspective. So medyo may pagka-high level siya rather than mag-start ka, structure mo yung database mo and so on. So merong tinatawag na API first approach. So meron ding with relation to API first approach, that is also possible with RESTful services. So with RESTful services is pwede ka mag-design ng API, ng web service API mo na with the use of API first approach. So for the front end din naman, aside from sa back end ka lang nakafocus, no, pwede mo rin isabay yung sa front end first approach. Yung front end first approach is you develop the front end na user experience while you're doing development, but it does not mean na yung API first is contradicting with the front end first approach. Yung front end first approach is actually complementing with API first approach. So pwede natin yun mapag-usapan in a different video. So although I have a video series about software architecture na pwede ko ilagay sa link below. So if you have questions, i-post na lang sa comment section below at pwede ko sagutin when some questions are related to software architecture. So let's move to the next topic. Okay, this time pag-usapan natin some of the most commonly used databases based from the survey ng Stack Overflow this 2021. So ang nangunguna sa survey ng Stack Overflow is ang MySQL. So even up until now, so very useful ang MySQL. So one of the reason is ang MySQL is a relational database. Meron siyang mga free versions and so then madali rin siyang i-learn, no? So it's using the standard query language na mechanism to manage these databases. So nandiyan din ang Postgres similar to MySQL and SQLite. Nandiyan din. SQLite is pwede siya mag-work without a server. So pwede siya on your local machine. So yun. Then for NoSQL databases, nandiyan ang MongoDB. Meron ding ang MS SQL server. So similar to other SQL servers. So relational database. So nandiyan din ang Redis na isang NoSQL database. MariaDB is actually uh, similar to MySQL, no? So MariaDB is somehow a family of MySQL. Then meron din ang Firebase ng Google. Firebase ng Google is an NoSQL databases that allows us to use na merong pwede rin natin sabihin na merong Firebase kasi is nagpo-provide sila ng mga free hosting and so on. No? So maraming mga benefits din na binibigay kapag gumagamit ka ng Firebase. So meron din yung Elasticsearch and Oracle na pwede natin ma-explore. Pero yung nasa top, yan yung din yung mga familiars din ako. So, pwede natin to gamitin sila. So, that's when it comes to choosing a database, hindi important kung ano na pag gagamitin ko ito kasi nasa trend siya or madali siya gamitin. We decide based on our needs. So, sometimes may nagsasabay-sabay natin ang relational database to NoSQL databases and so on. In a way, pwede natin yun mapag-usapan in the future. I have a database management series na pwede ko ilagay sa link below. So, in the future, pwede natin yun mapag-usapan. When it comes to programming language naman, so based from the survey of Stack Overflow, here are the most commonly used programming language. So, and markup language, no? So kasali na dito yung mga markup language. So JavaScript is ang nangunguna. It's because of the web development, no? So lahat ng mga touch points sa on the user experience is nagta-touch ng JavaScript. So kinakailangan natin in the sa personal development natin ngayon sa technical side is kailangan natin ma-learn ang JavaScript. And to be followed by HTML. Siyempre, partner talaga yan, yung JavaScript at saka HTML, CSS. So, for other programming language such as is, nandyan din ang Python. Python is for AI development. Marami na yung development ng AI ngayon. So, Python is one. So, Python can do many kinds of application from web development to desktop. Maraming capabilities din ang Python. So, one of the easy to learn din na programming language is ang Python. So, nandyan din ang mga SQL language. So, as we discussed kanina sa mga databases, so SQL is one of the important. So, nandyan din ang Java, Node.js, TypeScript. One of my favorite actually is ang TypeScript. So, TypeScript is it's actually just same as JavaScript. So, if you use TypeScript, parang JavaScript rin yan. But, it enables you to develop your JavaScript in a more organized way. So, nandiyan din ang C# ng Microsoft Bash or Shell. Siyempre, kinakailangan yan for automation, no? And hindi pa rin matanggal sa trend ang C++. Ang C++ ang dahilan bakit na nagkaroon ng success ang other programming language. In fact, ginawa ang other programming language using C++. So, nandiyan pa rin ang PHP as mostly commonly used na programming language, especially sa mga websites na. So when we develop mga websites such as WordPress na mga application, it's using PHP. So ngayon naman, let's move on to the fundamental development tools na ginagamit for software development. So based from the survey of Stack Overflow this 2021, the top development tools na ginagamit for software development is ang Git. So, Git allows you to store your code base available in local and even offline is pwede mo pa rin siya ma-access. And you can always push your changes on the cloud anytime basta magkaroon ka lang ng internet. But it also allows you to work offline. So, maganda yung services na binibigay ng Git. So, parang cloud computing din yung binibigay niya sa'yo na actually cloud computing talaga yung sa pinoprovide ng Git, especially sa GitHub. So, ang GitHub is nagbibigay sila ng ganyan. So, ang GitHub is one of the platform na cloud platform na nagbibigay ng gano'n. So, to be followed by Docker. So, kanina napag-usapan natin is one of the technologies ang containerization. So, Docker is one of the product na nabibigay ng support doon. So, it allows you to to ship your package in a container form. So without na pwede mo nakalimutan yung mga installation issues sa development environment, because you can always isolate the environment in a container. So without thinking kung ano yung magiging environment niya sa customer. So madali mag-ship ng isang package kapag naka-container siya. So yun. So with the Docker, that is possible. So for ease of deployment, Docker is working with Kubernetes. Si Kubernetes is yun, yung deployment in different nodes is ginagawa din niya madali sa yun. So yun. So ang Docker actually is nagwo-work with Kubernetes. So but Kubernetes have its own way of containerization as well. So you can use Kubernetes as is, or you can work it together with Docker. So meron din itong si Yarn. Si Yarn is working with Node.js. It's a repository that you can it's a tool that you can use to install your packages, mga dependencies na ginagamit mo sa software development. So it works with npm and Node.js as well. So there are other development tools such as Unity 3D, Ansible, Terraform, and Xamarin. So Xamarin is ginagamit for mobile app development. So, na pwede rin maka-deploy ng two different platforms. So kanina napag-usapan natin ang PWA. One of the technology rin na similar to PWA is ang Xamarin. Okay? So here are the list. Pero sa akin, ang mga mostly familiar ako na ginagamit ko right now sa software development ko is a Git, Docker, Yarn, and Kubernetes. So yun. So and then, so if you have questions about it, pwede natin ang pag-usapan in the future. If may question kayo, i-comment nyo lang in the comment section below. Okay, ngayon naman pag-usapan natin ang mostly commonly used IDEs. Although hindi siya masyado important, pero for me as a software developer is important din siya para maging productive ang development. So based from the survey of Stack Overflow, meron din silang binigay. Sa this survey nila sa 2021, meron silang binigay din ng mga numbers, no? So ang mostly used na IDE is ang Visual Studio Code, which is ang free version, no? So pero meron din silang licensed version using Visual Studio, especially if you're working with .NET or .NET Core. You can use Visual Studio, so maganda siya. So Notepad++ is been there for a long time. So up until now, parang bumabalik siya again sa most commonly used. Then meron din itong si IntelliJ, one of the paid version, paid IDE, no? So yan. Then meron ding Vim ng Linux, meron ding Android Studio for mobile development. Sublime ay one of the famous before, pero up until now still on the top. And then meron dito si PyCharm and Eclipse. So pero sa akin personally, ang ginagamit ko is ang Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio. So if you have some comments kung anong ginagamit niyo, no? So you can comment in the comment section below. So that are the emerging technologies na ginagamit sa industry in 2021 in the relation to software development based from surveys and trends. So if you have questions or clarifications, please let us know in the comment section below. And do not forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for